Hello and welcome to my channel, Witch Dr. Drake. I'm Drake, and today we're going to be opening Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot, which is the new tarot deck by Rockpool Publishing, but it was made by Lorriane Anderson and illustrated by Tajana Lukovic. So that's who the deck is by. I'm going to use my keys to open it. I'm really excited about this deck because this deck is winter themed, and I have been a follower of the god of winter, Boreas, since I was about 15 or 16 years old. So winter's very special to me, and I'm really excited about this deck to see if it helps me connect to Boreas, because to be honest, I've been collecting tarot decks since about 2013, so about 12 years, and I have yet to find a deck that is wintry enough and like truly speaks to me as a reader, like the voice of Boreas. My god, I do not hear his voice through any deck clearly all consistently, and I would like that because I hear other people have that with their deities and their some of their decks. So let's open it. And the inside of the box is this. It looks pretty, it's very blue, which is very on brand for winter, I guess. A lot of people make winter out to be blue. And here's the little white book, which is not that little. It looks pretty in depth. It's got classic introduction and card spreads in the beginning, and then it goes into the major arcana, and there's images of the cards on the pages, along with about a page and a half of text per major arcana, and about one whole page of text for the minor arcana. Also about a page and a half of text for the minor arcana, which is pretty good. That's kind of, and they're full color reproductions of the minor arcana too. So this is a pretty good little white book, not very little of a little white book. So I'm excited to get into this book at some point in the future. And here's the deck. Here's the inside of the box. Blue, very blue, but it's a nice winter scene. Wind and snow falling. Okay, here's the deck. Get the paper off. It's got these candles on the back. It's, again, very blue. Got the moon. Very nice back. Simple. Not that busy. I like it. And then the front of the cards looks like these. This is the Winter Fool. It's got borders, which some people don't like. Cardstock is pretty solid. It's pretty decent quality, and the edges are gilded, which I love. I always love a gilded edge. I'm a sucker for a gilded edge. If my edges are bare, I usually color them myself though, so it would have had blue edges regardless. But so the first card is the Winter Fool, which looks like this. The Winter Witch is the Magician, which I kind of like. I can get behind that. The High Priestess is the Winter High Priestess, which this is the image, I think, for the box, maybe. I definitely saw this image already. Yeah, it's the image for the box, is the Winter High Priestess, which is cool. I like that image. It's a nice image. It's pretty. It's got 3 different witches, and I'm digging it. Although the thing I'm not digging right now is that it's the Winter Fool, the Winter Witch, the Winter High Priestess, and I'm starting to think, and then the next card is the Winter Empress, which is a nice card. It looks spooky and eerie, and I like it, but I'm just wondering about just tacking on winter to the front of the cards, and is that wintry enough? I don't know. I'm just not sure. The images are beautiful though. The Winter Emperor. The Emperor is like a frozen waterfall or like a mountainside or something. It's kind of unclear, but he's like a face in in the surrounding environment, and the image, the image looks like it was painted. So the images are very, very interesting and pretty. I'm very into them. I'm very into the art style. The Winter Hierophant. But I'm just the winter lovers. Oh, it's sticking to another card behind it. Winter Chariot, which is a black and white swan. And ooh, there's a picture of, I would say, Father Winter, Boreas. He's in this card on the right, maybe the left, I don't know. But he's depicted, and I'm very into that in the Chariot, because the Chariot is Cancerian, and that is just a sign that I've always felt some connection to. I have a best friend that's Cancerian, and my father's a Cancerian. And then the Winter Strength, again, the cards are sticking together, but it's a polar bear and a witch. Winter Hermit is a white stag. I can get behind that. I am also Irish, so I'm of Irish descent, so I have some fondness for some of those Irish pagan gods, Celtic gods. Winter Wheel. Oh, I didn't show that one. The Winter Wheel. Winter Consequences. That's interesting. Consequences. Is that instead of the Hanged Man? I think so. No, next is the Hanged Man. What's 11 in? I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I know tarot, but I just, when it's translated, I get a little confused. The Winter Hanged Man, though, is the next card. And it's quite interesting. I really like the imagery of this. It's got a sleeping fox and a bunch of candles. She looks like she's doing some serious magic in this card, and I can feel the magic of the card, and I really like that. Winter Death. Ooh, it's spooky and eerie. It's it's like a spirit in the water. That's eerie. It reminds me of being out on Lake Michigan. Not out on Lake Michigan, on the shores of Lake Michigan, in wintertime, because I'm from the Midwest, greater Chicago area, or I live in the greater Chicago area now anyway, and at night when you go out to the lake in wintertime, it's so black. It's so, you can't even see the distinction between the sky and the lake. It's so eerie sometimes. But this card reminds me of that, so I really am digging that. But that's Winter Death. Winter Temperance. The Winter Devil. The Winter Tower. The Winter Star. I want to get a better look at this. The Winter Star. I feel this. I feel Arethea in this card, which I'm digging that. So that's something. I'm feeling not exactly my patroness, but my patron's wife, which is a nice thing I like to feel in any deck. I have a deck that I feel some connection to Arethea from, which is the Shadowscapes deck. It's not exactly Arethea themed by any means, but I just do feel a connection to her through that deck. So, but seeing her in this deck in an image, I mean, it's not exactly her, but I'm picking up on her. I like that a lot. New Moon. And then Midnight. So that's cool. New Moon and then Midnight. Then we have Self-Reflection. And then Ascending to Spring. I can dig that, Ascending to Spring. And then we get into the Minor Arcana. Minor Arcana, starting with the Wands, the Winter Wands. Again, I'm really not sure how I feel about just tagging winter in front of everything as a description. There was a lot of that in the Major Arcana, and it looks like they're doing that with the Minor Arcana, and I don't know how necessary that is, personally. If the images are already wintry enough, which I personally feel like they are. I'm getting that they're wintry. But I don't know. The Ace of Winter Wands reminds me of like the little match girl kind of, because it's just a woman with a candle. It's a pretty card. It's probably the least wintry card I've seen so far. But it's wands, so that's fire, which is kind of the opposite of winter in my mind. So it's more summer. So it makes sense that this suit would probably be the least wintry to me. Two of Winter Wands. Oh. Her head looks like the moon. I thought it was the moon for a second. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of funny. Like, I don't know, it's a little silly. Because her head looks like the moon in all the cards, so it's very funny. But anyways, this is the Three of Winter Wands. Duh. I should have known that. I can count. 1, 2, 3. Four of Winter Wands. Looks like a Christmas tree, so I can dig that. Five of Winter Wands. Interestingly, looks to me more like a classic depiction of the Four of Wands, which it doesn't look like they're in conflict at all. It looks very like a gift exchange of children or something. It looks very cute and romantic. It doesn't seem... That's interesting. I'm going to have to sit with that card. That's not a classic Five of Wands. Six of Winter Wands. I'm digging this. There's a trumpet playing angel with snow falling, and I'm getting just winter vibes galore from that. I like this one. But this one's very Christian. There's even you can't see it. It's too tiny to show you. But there's a Christian cross. So this is the most Christian card I've seen in the deck so much. I mean, I say that and I just passed a Christmas tree. But Christmas trees are so pagan to me. But crucifixes are not pagan to me. I don't know why that is. Seven of Winter Wands. Eight of Winter Wands. This one looks like there's spirits in it too, and I'm kind of intrigued by that. Nine of Winter Wands. The Ten of Winter Wands. I like this imagery. She's going to a wooden, like a log cabin. I like that. And then the Initiative Winter Wands looks like she's in that log cabin. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the case, but I like when cards like lead into each other and kind of tell a narrative, and that kind of is what I got from the 10 and the page here. So, or the Initiative of Winter Wands, not the page. But I am guessing that that's the page because the next card is the Apprentice of Winter Wands, and she's getting pulled on a sled. So that reads more of Knight of Wands to me. So that's the Winter Wands. The Apprentice of Winter Wands. Then we have the Artisan of Winter Wands, which is the Queen of Wands in this deck, which you can tell by the next card, which is the Master, which is going to be Santa Claus. And it's not, it's Santa. It's definitely Santa. You could argue it's not, but it's very obviously Santa to someone who grew up with Santa Claus. So I don't know how I feel about Santa as the Master of Winter Wands. I mean, the elves in it are very cute, though. They're very adorable. So I don't know. I'm not surprised to see Santa in a winter-themed deck. It'd be kind of surprising to not see Santa in a winter-themed deck, honestly, I think, in, like, Western society anyway. The Ace of Winter Cups. Cups are next. And this card is pretty. I like it. I like that the grail, or her cup looks like a grail and it's glowing. The Two of Winter Cups. I'm really not getting used to this just tacking on winter thing, though. Three of Winter Cups. Like, I don't know. Just tacking on winter to make a card winter themed. We'll just have to see if they continue this. This is a new set, I think, that they're doing. I think this is the first of them, the Winter Tarot. I'm guessing there's going to be a spring, summer, and fall tarot to accompany this at some point. Is my assumption. And so with that being said, I think if they repeat this pattern of tacking on the season to make the suit more of that season, I might get used to it if the whole set's like that. But to be honest, I'm really just not convinced by that as like a convincing way of making a suit of cards, like the Five of Winter Cups. Like, it's just the Five of Cups. You can just say the Five of Cups. It doesn't need to be. I mean, it's an interesting Five of Cups, but it's a pretty. I really like the art style. The art style is very soothing to me and soft and gentle and warm. Which is, I say warm, but it's wintry. But that's like, I mean, like, that's kind of nice, like candles by the fire, warm. That's kind of what I get from them, from the imagery of the cards, which I love. That's very wintry. But I'm just not so into how they just tack winter on to the Six of Winter Cups. I just think it's a little unnecessary. The Seven of Winter Cups, another Christmas tree. Interesting. This one's black, though. Well, it's interesting. The Eight of Winter Cups. Ooh, there's a serpent in it, and I eat snakes I really like snakes. I used to have a snake when I was growing up. He still is alive, but he's no longer mine. I moved from the greater Detroit area to the greater Chicago area, and in that move, um, I didn't know how easy it would be to find feeder mice for the snake when I moved here, and when I got here, I found out it would be pretty difficult actually, and so I got rid of the snake. And by saying that, I mean I gave it to my brother's friend, and my brother's friend still has that snake, and I like snakes. Nine of Winter Cups. Ten of Winter Cups. Initiate of Winter Cups. This initiate. Wow, that was confusing me. This initiate of cups, of Winter Cups, has a fish in his cup, and I like that. I like that imagery. I mean, it's jumping out of the cup, but you can't see it. It's too tiny in this image, but there's a little fish jumping out of his cup, and I like that imagery for the page, for the initiate. Although this apprentice is less obviously the knight, while she is in a suit of armor. That's pretty knight-like. That's very knight-esque, being in a suit of armor. So that's the apprentice of Winter Cups. Then the artisan of Winter Cups. She's got a baby unicorn in her lap. I love that. That's so cute. And then there's the Master of Winter Cups, which I'm not sure I'm not sure who this image depicts exactly. I'll have to read what the book says about this image, because I honestly have no idea, but he's on a lake, it's very water. There's a fish jumping out of his cup too. It's just, I don't know. It could just be a generalized king. It doesn't have to be anyone, but when the last king was Santa Claus, I kind of just assumed this king is probably someone too that I just can't recognize. So I'll have to read about that and find out. The Ace of Winter Swords. She looks like the sword is a crystal in this image, which is interesting. The Two of Winter Swords. This is not a classic Two of Swords depiction. I mean, she is sitting and looks maybe possibly blindfolded. It's kind of hard to tell. But she doesn't have swords. I don't think there's swords in this image. There's lightning bolts. I think the lightning bolts are the swords, which that's interesting. The lightning bolts are the swords. It's at the top. The swords are lightning bolts. That is interesting. I'm going to have to sit with that imagery. Lightning bolts as swords. And that makes me think of thunder snow. And I love thunder snow. It's such a cool phenomenon. So I'm really interested in that for the swords. And swords are air, and I'm an Aquarius, which I've always had the most connection to the swords suits in most decks anyways. Not every deck, but that's usually where I feel the most connected in a deck. I see myself in usually the king or knight of swords. Or the star, because I'm an Aquarius. Anyways, Four of Winter Swords. The lightning bolts. It looks like a ghost wolf or a fox. Maybe. Oh, it's interesting. The imagery of this is very haunting, and I very much love that. There's a hauntingness to a lot of these images. Like the Five of Winter Swords. Like there's just something about them that feels ethereal and ghost-like. Which I think winter has that feeling too. It's like a Christmas story. No, not a Christmas story. A Christmas Carol. Thank you. A Christmas Carol. That's very much the vibe of that. This is. Oh, I'm covering up what this is. This is the Six of Winter Wands, or of Winter Swords. Sorry, excuse me. Six of Winter Swords. The Seven of Winter Swords. The Eight of Winter Swords. Oh, this one's. I like this image. She's in a hollowed out tree. And there's flowers blooming around her. That's very. I mean, she's in a hollow. That makes me. Oh, that just gives me chills. Nine of Winter Swords. Ten of Winter Swords. Looks like it has poppies in it, which is interesting. I like that. I like that imagery. She looks like she's being brought back to life or something. It's very ethereal. The Initiative of Winter Swords. Apprentice of Winter Swords. The Artisan of Winter Swords. I don't know who any of these queens are supposed to be. If they are supposed to be anyone or just generalized queens. I really need to get into this book and give it a good read. I usually do that like card by card. I usually draw 3 cards a day until I've gone through the whole deck when I first get a deck. So, Artisan of Winter Swords. I don't know who she's supposed to be, but it's an interesting card. Master of Winter Swords. Oh, I really like the imagery of the next card, the Ace of Winter Pentacles. It's got a white stag, and she looks like a white stag. It's very Yule to me. Two of Winter Pentacles. This looks kind of classic imagery of Two of Pentacles. Three of Winter Pentacles. I think for my interpretation of this deck, I really just need to disentangle my association of the Christmas tree with Christianity and really just get back to how it came from a pagan Yule celebration. So the Four of Winter Pentacles. The Five of Winter Pentacles. This looks like a classic 5 to me, which 5s of Pentacles usually, I don't know, they always give me pause because they're like the most, I just get the sense of lacking from the card always, and it makes me sad. The poverty that the card is about just upsets me. Not upsets me, but it makes me feel more compassion and empathy for other humans in similar predicaments. And that card's usually a wintry card, so I've always had a connection to it for that reason. It's often wintry, so I like that. The Six of Winter Pentacles. The Seven of Winter Pentacles. She's got plants hanging. I like that. The Eight of Winter Pentacles. This looks like me. She's trying to learn to sew, it looks like. I've tried to learn to sew so many times and I'm not very good at it. I can sew somewhat, but it's not very good. But it looks like she's trying to learn to sew something. Nine of Winter Pentacles. 10 of Winter Pentacles has another Christmas tree, and it's got a very bright star at the top. Initiative Winter Pentacles. Apprentice of Winter Pentacles. Artisan of Winter Pentacles. Looks like she's drying herbs right there. That's cool. I like that. I'm a botanist, classically trained, so really strong connection to plant life. Personally, Master of Winter Pentacles, and that is the last card. And so I need to work with it before I can actually know how I feel with the cards. But right off the bat, I do feel Voreas, Orethia, Kiane, all in this deck. I felt them in images, but I feel them in images in a lot of decks, but I definitely felt them throughout this whole deck. So that's pretty nice. It's not any one of them too much. It might be a little bit too Christian, but I really just might need to disentangle the classic pine tree, Christmas tree, Yule tree. I really need to probably disentangle that from my Christian Catholic background. So see it more as see it more with from its pagan roots, I think. But it's an interesting deck. It's very wintry. I'm excited to use it, and I will review it in the future. It'll probably take me all winter to work with it before I'm ready to review it, but that's something to look forward at the end of winter, and I'm excited for it. So thank you for being here. Don't forget to like or thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, leave a comment if you want to leave a comment, and thank you for